Hello and welcome to another jewelry making video brought to you by KeepsakeCrafts.net and allfreejewelrymaking.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make these great tangled wire beads. That's right, not just making jewelry from purchased beads, but I'm going to show you how you can make your own beads and then turn them into these great earrings or any other projects. So to make these earrings, you will need, of course, a couple of ear wires, 2 head pins, some craft wire. This is what we'll be using to make our tangled beads, and this is 22 gauge craft wire. It's a copper wire that's been coated so that it's silver in color, but you can buy copper colored, gold, or other colors. Once you get so that you kind of know what you're doing and are comfortable with working with wire, you can certainly buy gold-filled or silver-coated, silver-plated wire. But for now, I like to use the craft wire. It's a little less expensive and a good thing to work on. You'll also need a couple of bead accents for your earrings. Since I'm not sure what size my earrings are my wire beads are going to come out, I have this strand of different size beads. I think they'll be kind of fun. And I'll decide what size and find 2 in the approximate size once I'm done making the wire beads. For tools, you'll need round nose pliers, 2 pairs of chain nose pliers, and also some nice flush cut wire cutters. So when working with the craft wire, I prefer, if I can possibly manage it, to work right off the spool. That way I don't waste any wire, or as little as possible. Now the first step when making these beads, and this is optional, but if you want to have some interesting accents, you'll need to thread on some seed beads for color accents. So here you can see I've strung 20 little glass seed beads onto my wire, and now I'm ready to start forming my wire bead. The first step is take a pair of round nose pliers, grasp the end of the wire with the tips of the round nose pliers, and then just twist your wrist as far as you can. And you want this end of the wire to touch itself. If it doesn't, grab it again and twist again until it does. Once it touches, go ahead and grasp right where the wire touches and then give that a bend. Once you've done that, you may have to grab that loop again and just close it up. And then go ahead and bend your loop back. And that's called breaking the neck, and it basically gives you a nice point differentiation between the loop and the wire. Next, the next step actually determines the size, the finished size of your bead. And so I'm going to take a pair of chain nose pliers, and whatever width of pliers is holding onto this piece of wire, I'm going to make it about 1/4 of an inch. That is about half the diameter of your bead, or maybe a little less than half. So take your wire and make a 90-degree bend at that point. And now just take your wire, and this is kind of a tricky part, just start making a coil. You just have to freeform it with your fingers. Zing, see, that's what I mean, it kind of zings away from you. And just hold on to it with your fingers and start shaping around that. And as you get a little bit more shaped, it will be easier to hold on to. And this is really making the core of your tangled wire bead. And once you've got something there to speak of, so maybe 5 or 6 wraps, we can now start pulling down our seed beads. And these just go on the outside of the bead. And so you just take your thumbnail and kind of scoot them down, do another wrap. and keep that up. So here I've gone ahead and done wraps, and I've used 12 of those 20 beads, which is about what I've planned. And I'm going to have the wire end opposite that first loop I made. And then go ahead and use your wire cutters and cut it off about an inch or so from the end of your spool. And you can set the spool aside. And then go ahead and, again, opposite where you ended, go ahead and grab that wire with your round nose pliers and make a loop. And you can actually make a complete loop here. And I'm actually going to hold on to that loop with my chain nose pliers and just do a wrap. And then I'm going to tuck that end with my chain nose pliers right back into the bead. Sorry, moved off camera on you. The cool thing about these is you don't have to really be stressed about making them perfect to begin with, because they're made out of wire. So you can just go ahead and shape them. Oh, and then they go zinging like little springs. You can go ahead and shape them. Now I can't even find that end. If I could find it, I'd trim it off, but since I can't, I'm not going to worry about it. And just use your chain nose pliers and position those loops so they're pretty much opposite each other, just like on any bead that you've ever seen before. So I've gone ahead and made a second tangled wire bead. I've also gone through my strand and decided on these two, and actually they're a couple of the smallest beads that were on the strand. And to make them into dangles, I'm just going to slide a head pin through it, and then grab right where the head pin comes out of the bead with the tips of chain nose pliers. Bend that at a 90-degree angle. Go ahead and grab that bend with round nose pliers. Wrap it around as far as it'll go. Reposition my pliers. That's about as far as you can get. Reposition my pliers so I can finish that loop. And then go ahead and trim where the wires cross. Take your round nose pliers and finish finish shaping that loop. Flatten it out nicely. Get a nice shape to it. There we go. And then all I need to do is use chain nose pliers to open that loop. Go ahead and pop your tangled wire onto that loop and then close it up with chain nose pliers. Next, open the loop of your ear wire and slip on the other loop of your tangled wire bead. Close it up, and then repeat for your other earring. Aren't those fun? So here's another look at our finished earrings. Isn't that a fun technique? The great thing about this tangled bead is that you can use it to make a necklace like I did with the Summer Flowers lampwork bead. You can use it to make any kind of earrings. You can use it to make a bracelet. Just make these beads in any color wires with any color seed beads to fill in for any beads you want. So I hope you've enjoyed this project. Thank you so much for watching KeepsakeCrafts.net videos. Please be sure to check out KeepsakeCrafts.net for more jewelry making, crafting, sewing, and all kinds of crafting ideas and inspiration. Have a good one. Bye-bye.